Hi, so today we're gonna introduce cookies, session, and local storage. We're gonna talk about the similarity and the difference part of them. So at the beginning, we're gonna first introduce a very brief history of cookies. So back in the days, websites used the HTTP protocol, which is stateless. So this meant that they could not store user-related information like the user's session ID, the name of user, etc. in the browser. So that means, in other words, the server could not remember you. So that was a really big problem, and that means every time you visit the website, it is possible that you need to log in again and again. So that caused a problem. And as the web advanced and grew more popular, websites started storing user-related information in the browser itself. This helped them differentiate what kind of user is interacting with your website and provide a very personalized experience to the user. So cookies are small pieces of data that websites store on the user's device, typically in the form of text files, and the files are sent back and forth between the user browser and the server with each request and response. And for the persistence cookies, they have two kind of cookies. Can be either session cookies, which are temporary and stored only for the duration of user's session, or persistent cookies, which are stored on the user device for a specific period. And also, we want to talk about the size. And so cookies have size limitations and usually a few kilobytes. So they are suitable for storing small amount of data. So they are quite small. And therefore, after the rise of HTML5, they introduced the two storage mechanism, which is the browser storage mechanism, local storage, and session storage. The session storage is the web storage mechanism that allows data to be stored for the duration of page session. Unlike the cookie, the data stored in the session storage is not sent to the server with every HTTP request. Instead, it remains accessible only for the duration of the page session. And some key features of session storage include for the scope, data stored in the session storage is specific to a particular type or window and is not shared between the tabs and window. And for the lifetime, the data stored in the session storage is cleared. So it usually have very short lifetime, and if user close the tab, it will not exist anymore. And for the size limitation, similar to cookie, session storage has some limitation, but general allows more storage space compared to cookies. So really it's like megabytes, something like that. And for the local storage is another web storage mechanism that allows data to store persistently on the user device. And the data stored in local storage remains available even when the user closes the browser or navigates away from the page. And some key characteristics of local storage include the persistence. So local storage data persists across browser sessions and can be stored indefinitely until explicitly cleared by user or the application. And for the scope, unlike the session storage, local storage is not limited to particular session or type, so it's accessible across the window and originating from the same domain. And for the size, the local storage allows larger data storage compared to cookies and session storage, typically ranging from a few megabytes. So for the size, the local storage is the largest and the cookie is the smallest. And for the duration, usually local storage is the most long one as well. And for the session storage, it will be cleared once the user closes the tag. And for the cookies, the situation depends whether it's a persistent cookie or a session